then, so as mentioned previously, within this CPC you will be covering 5 sections. Section number 5, which is what we're going to cover now, is ability to prevent physical risk. And you will see that we have 10 different areas that we need to check. All right, so this will be part of your daily walk around check. Okay, so things we're going to check: wipers and washers, the horn, the instrument panel warning lights, height marker, exhaust system, brakes, lights and reflectors, mirrors, checking the vehicle for air leaks, and tyres and wheel nuts. Okay then, so what you have in the cab for this section, okay, is a tick list on a clipboard. All right, it's there for your use. It's there to assist you and tick the things off as you check them. All right, so you'll see the first thing that we've got to check, top left, all right, is your wipers and your washers. So before we actually physically check the wipers themselves, you're going to check the blades. So you're going to bring yourself around to the front of the vehicle, and one at a time, bring the blades away from the windscreen. Okay. Once you've done that, then what you're going to do, you're going to check the full length of the blade to check that it's intact, that it's not damaged, and it's there to do what it's there to do, which is clear the windscreen. So for this one, full length check, all looking good, so I can place that one back on the windscreen. And again, we're going to check the other one, full length, all right, no damage, no tears, it's attached to the blade itself, we're good to go. So again, you're going to place that one onto the windscreen. We need to make sure we don't slam them onto the windscreen, just in case it damages the wipers themselves or the windscreen. All right. Then I'm going to get myself into the vehicle. All right. Once in the vehicle, all I need to do is turn the ignition on only. Okay. Once I've turned the ignition on, the first thing I'm going to do is pull the right-hand stalk towards me to squirt some water onto the windscreen. It will take a couple of seconds to squirt some water on. Once it does, it will do a couple of swipes and then it will cancel itself off. That's not quite finished yet, so I'm going to now test the 3 speeds of the wipers. So 1 click down with the right hand stalk, we're checking the intermittent setting is working. Another click down for speed number 1. Another click down for speed number 2. And that is the check of the windscreen wipers and washers done. I can tick that off the list and move on to the next one. Okay then, nice and simple. We can see the next one is horn. So it's as simple as left-hand stalk, button on the end, give it a press and check that it works. Once you hear it working, again, tick it off your list and move on. And the next one on the list is instrument panel warning light check. What you need to do first of all is just turn the ignition on. When you turn the ignition on, what you'll see is amber and red lights come on at the same time. Then what you're looking for when you turn the ignition on is that the amber lights go off after approximately 2 to 3 seconds, which they have. That will then leave 3 red warning lights: oil light, battery light and parking brake. So when I turn my engine on, what you're looking for then is your oil light and your battery light going off, which will then just leave your parking brake. So my oil light and my battery light have both gone off. I've got my parking brake light still on. So just to check that that goes out, I put my foot on the foot brake, release my handbrake, and my parking brake light has gone off. That is then the instrument panel warning light check complete. Okay then, so moving along the list, we're now going to move on to exhaust system. Okay, we're checking the exhaust system for any excessive black smoke. So whilst the engine's running, what you need to do is apply the accelerator once or twice, checking your mirrors for any excessive black smoke. If you can't see any excessive black smoke, that's your exhaust system check complete. Okay then, so we move on. Another nice simple one, height marker check. All right, so what we're doing, we're physically pointing across for the examiner to our height marker, which as you can see reads the correct height, which is 11'7". Obviously, depending on the vehicle, will depend on the height, and as you can see by the little dials on the side, you can move the numbers both up and down depending on what sort of vehicle you're driving. And once you've checked that, height marker check is complete. Okay then, so we move on. We've now going to move on to the brake test, okay? So what you'll be required to do for the brake test is turn the engine on, okay? Select drive, and then nice and slowly move the vehicle forward between 5 to 10 meters, apply the foot brake, okay? Once the foot brake's applied, we're checking out the vehicle is stopping as it should do and listening out for any sort of grinding noises or anything that you shouldn't be hearing. Okay then, so we'll move on to the next section, okay, which is lights and reflectors. So what we need to do in regards to our lights and reflectors then, we need to make sure that we turn all of the lights on. And then once everything's turned on, we will then get ourselves out of the vehicle and walk around and check every single light is working. So all the bulbs are working, that the lens isn't damaged and that the lens is clean. And essentially it's there to do what it's there to do. All right. Once we get to the back of the vehicle, there are 2 further lights that you need to ask the examiner for assistance. Okay, and that's going to be your reverse light and your brake lights. All right. So when we're going to turn the engine on, first of all, we're going to turn our headlights on, which is the dial just on the right hand side. Turn it all the way to the right, 2 clicks, and that's our headlights on. Okay, the next light we're going to put on is the fog light, okay, which is on a tilt switch just above the stereo. Once you press that, you will see a little orange light come up on the dashboard to signify that your fog light is on. Main beams, we also need to put our main beams on, so pull the left hand stalk towards you until you hear a click. Okay, the blue light on the dashboard then signifies your main beam is on. The final one is your hazard lights, okay, which is going to be your red button with a warning triangle in the middle. Again, on a tilt switch, press that button down. You will then see 2 flashing green arrows on the dashboard, again signifying that your hazard lights are on. Then I'm going to get myself out of the vehicle, all right, using my 3 points of contact, starting at this light here and working my way all the way around. Okay, so we can see the light is flashing, so the bulb is working, the lens is nice and clean and not cracked, so that's the first one done. I'll then bring myself round to the front of the vehicle. All right, again, take a step back so you can see all bulbs and lights. I can see that my headlights are working, my main beam is working, my 2 flashers, all right, are working as well. I have 2 marker lights at the top, one on the left and one on the right. I check that they're both working. Once I'm happy with all the lights at the front, I'm then going to take myself around the other side, all right, checking that the side repeater is working, that it's clean, that it's not cracked, and that the lamp itself is working. What I've also got along this side, okay, is 3 reflectors. Okay, the 3 reflectors and 1 towards the rear of the vehicle. They're all working, they're all clean, and they're not damaged. Okay, so now I've got myself to the rear of the vehicle. Numerous lights that I'm going to check now, starting at the top and working my way down. 2 red marker lights at the top. Okay, they're working. Number plate light, legal requirement that your number plate light needs to be working. Again, I can see that that's working. Bringing my eyes down now to the clusters at the back. My side repeaters, they're both working. Tail lights are working, and I can see that my fog lights are working as well. At this point, what you're going to do then, you're going to ask the examiner if he can assist you at this point. Okay, you'll ask him if he wouldn't mind standing to the rear of the vehicle, and he's going to check your brake lights and he's going to check your reversing lights. Okay, at that point you're going to get yourself into the vehicle, all right, put your foot on the foot brake. The examiner will then give you the thumbs up to say that the brake lights are working, and then you're going to engage the reversing gear, all right, and again he will give you the thumbs up to say that the reverse lights are working. Please remember one thing, keep the handbrake on when you put it into reverse, otherwise a flat examiner will not pass your test. Okay, so again, we've got our final checks along this side of the vehicle. Okay, 1 reflector, clean, and not cracked. Again, this one here, clean and not cracked and working. And then the final check, clean and not cracked and working perfectly. And again, what you'll find is you brought yourself back to the starting point. Well, I'll get myself back into the cab now, using my 3 points of contact. Hazard lights go off. Main beam lights go off, fog lights, they go off, and my headlights go off also. And at that point now, I can turn the engine off, and that is your lights and reflectors thoroughly checked and you can tick that off your list. Now we're going to move on to our mirror check. Okay, we have 6 mirrors on this vehicle, 2 on the driver's side, 1 on the centre of the front of the vehicle, and then 3 on the passenger side. And we're going to check these mirrors in exactly the same way. Each one in exactly the same way. So we're going to be checking the glass itself. Is it clean? Is it undamaged? And is it actually there to do, all right, its job, okay? So I'm looking at it now. I can see that both these glasses are clean and they're not cracked, all right? I'm going to check the arm of the mirror itself. Okay, check that it's nice and secure. I'm going to check the plastic casing on the outside of the mirror. All right, has that been damaged in any way? Is that likely to come off when you're out on the road and cause a problem? Okay, again, have a thorough check. Both this one and the top one here, all looking nice and secure and perfectly safe. Okay, so we've checked the 2 driver's side mirrors. Now we're going to move on to the mirror which we've got at the front here. All right, so again, you're going to check the glass itself, that it's clean and not cracked, and give it a good shake and check that it's nice and secure and it's not going to come off when you're out on the road, which could potentially cause a problem for any pedestrians or other road users. Okay then, the final 3 mirrors then, okay, near side mirrors. We've got the 2 here and then we've got the one just above the window there. Again, we're checking them in exactly the same way as we've checked the previous 3. All right, so plastic casing, all secure, not damaged. Same with this top one. Plastic casing is secure and not damaged, okay? And again, have a look at the glass itself. Check that the glass itself is clean and not cracked on both of these mirrors. And the final one then, okay, have yourself a good check, good shake of that mirror, check it's nice and secure. And the final check of the glass, yep, it's clean and it's not cracked. Okay then, so we've just completed the mirror check. We're now going to move on to checking for air leaks. So the way we check for air leaks is without the engine on. Every couple of steps we're going to get down and we're going to have a really good listen. And what we're listening out for is any loud hissing noises, okay, which could signify you have an air leak in the air system of the vehicle. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to get down and I'm going to have a really good listen. All right. And every couple of steps I'll get down, have a listen. And a final check on this side, have a good listen. Bring myself round to the rear. All right, once I get round to the rear, I'll get down and have a listen as well. Okay then, so I've brought myself round now to the driver's side, okay? And again, around 3 checks, crouching down and having a listen for any air leaks. Okay then, so that's the final check that I've just made, listening out for any air leaks. And once you've done a full lap of the vehicle, crouching down every couple of steps, that will be your air leak check now complete. Okay then, so we're getting to the final part of the daily walk around check. So we've just completed our check for air leaks. We're now going to move on to the final part, which is your tyres and your wheel nuts, okay? So first of all, you're going to bring yourself to your front wheel, all right? And in regards to the tyres then, we're checking our tyres that they have a minimum of 1 millimetre of tread over 3/4 of the width of the tyre for the full circumference of the tyre, or all the way around, okay? Once you've checked the tread itself, then what you're going to check, you're going to check the sidewalls. So you're going to check the sidewalls for any cuts, bulges, or any cord that may be showing, okay? In regards to the back wheels, when you get to the back wheels, what you'll see is you have 2 tyres, all right? You've got twin tyres at the back. So you need to make sure that you emphasise to the examiner that you're getting yourself down there and you're getting yourself in and you're checking the inside tyre as well. The last little check you need to be aware of in regards to the back wheels then is checking in between the 2 tyres for any debris. So any bricks that might have been collected that could potentially get thrown up out onto a vehicle behind, all right, when you're going along the road. So once you've checked the tyres then, okay, you've checked the tyres, you're now going to check the wheel nuts. And what you're going to be checking in regards to the wheel nuts, firstly, that all the wheel nuts are there, all right? If they're all there, then for this wheel, for example, you'll see that there is no indicators on the wheel nuts themselves. So what we're going to check for is what they call uniform thread. Uniform thread meaning, roughly, you can see the same amount of thread all the way around, okay? Which we can see that there is. Okay then, so we've just checked our front wheel nuts, all right, now we're going to bring ourselves to the rear. And what you'll see that is slightly different here is you've got the wheel nut indicators. They're luminous yellow in colour, and what you'll see is that both of the wheel nut indicators next to each other, the arrowheads should be pointing towards each other. All right. If you were to have one of the arrowheads pointing up to the sky, for example, that's going to signify you've got a loose wheel nut. And before you then would take the vehicle on the road, you would need to make sure that the wheel nut is tightened using a torque wrench. All right. Make sure that you're doing your wheel nut checks on all 4 wheels as you go around. Okay, and then that will be your checklist complete. Every single thing on your checklist should have a tick through it, and then that will be the end of your test.